Today we're going to look at some greatest common factor problems. So the greatest common factor is going to be the largest quantity in terms of numbers and variables that we can take out of an expression. So we're going to be looking for the largest thing that divides evenly into both. I'll give you some alternate strategies that take a extra step, but that maybe will work better for you. And then once you've mastered this skill, you can skip those steps. Okay. So let's look at number one. We're looking for our greatest common factor. So if we're looking at just the numbers, what divides evenly into both 16 and 4? What's the largest thing? Well, the answer to that question is 4, right? Because 4 times 4 would be 16. And then we have 4 times 1 is 4. Now let's talk about these p's. P to the fourth means p times p times p times p, right? P to the third means p times p times p. So our common factor here, well, we've got 4's in both spots, so we can take out a 4. And then you'll notice that we have 3 p's. We've got that as our amount of p's in both sections. So 3 p's would be p cubed. And then what are we left with? Well, we're left with a 4 in this first term and a p. And then we're left with 1 in our second term, so plus 1. So that's an alternate strategy, to write it out as an expression and then to pull out the common parts, or the greatest common factor. So let's go ahead and do that with a couple more problems, right? If you're seeing it right away, you can skip that step, all right? If it's seeming more difficult to you, then go ahead and expand it out, all right? So if you feel like you can do it right off the bat, you can skip that, but if not, go ahead and write it out and that'll help you, all right? So now we're looking for what goes into both 63 and 45. What's the largest thing? Well, both of those have the value of 9 that goes into them, right? 9 times 63. Oh, woof. 9 times 7 is 63, and 9 times 5 is 45. Okay. We do not have a variable b in both places, so we're not going to be able to factor out b. There's not a b in common. However, we do have a 9 in common, so we can take that out. And then we're left with 7 plus 5b. I'm just going to keep going down the odd problems on the left-hand side and leave you with some of the even problems on the right. So I'm going to skip 5 and leave that one for you. Let's go ahead and do 7 and 13. So we've got 14 and 21 here as our numbers. So the largest thing that goes into both 14 and 21 is 7. So we'll break that up into 7 times 2 times a, plus 7 times 3 is 21, and that's a squared, so that's like a times a, plus 7 times 3 is 21, times a cubed, so a times a times a. Then we look and we say, well, what do we have in common? All of them have a 7, right? That's our common factor as far as the numbers are concerned. And then all of them have at least one a, right? So we can take out the 7 and 1a. So we got 7a we can take out. And then we look and say, well, what are we left with? Well, I'm left with the 2, right? My first one. I'm left with 3a in my second term. And then I'm left with 3a times a, which is a squared. Number 13, we're looking for what's the largest thing that goes into -3, 15, and -6. This time I'm going to pull out a negative term just so our leading term is positive. So our leading term is the same as -3, and that'll go into each of 15 and -6. So this is the same as saying -3 times 1. K cubed is k times k times k. And then we've got positive 15 is the same as saying -3 times -5. K squared is the same as k times k. And then minus 3 times 2k. We look and we say, well, what do we have in common? We've got -3 and each term has a k. -3 and each term has a k. -3 and k. So we're going to go ahead and take out -3k because that's our greatest common factor. And then we look and we say, well, what's left? Well, I've got 1k times k, which is 1k squared. Then I've got -5 and a k, so I've got -5k. And then I've got negative and a 2, so -2. All right, so what I want you to do now is go ahead and try problems 9, 11, 15, 5, 2, and 4. All right. Have a great day. We'll look at these when I see you again on Monday. Enjoy your weekend.